Well, yes, unfortunately, one of the Majingilans has passed away. Yesterday was found dead on Singita. That probably died of natural causes and then was fed upon by hyenas. So it was the scar-nosed Majingilane, not the dark-maned one that we saw here, which means that the dark-maned one is the last one that is left as far as we know. So there's only the last, one left of that coalition that, is as legendary as many that have come through here. So it's a bit of a shame and a horrible thing to kind of think about, and it's never nice when you have a situation where coalition goes. But they were old males. I mean, they've been dominant for probably now is almost 8 years that they were dominant in the Sabi Sands. They came in 2010. And so, it's a long period that they've been around for, and they've really done a good job. And it's going to be interesting now because them kind of dying has just opened up this entire area now for the Birminghams to just go as far as they want. There's really very little competition. The only male lion that's in that western sector now is a young Ottawa male who's, I believe, about 2.5 years old, 3 years old. So he's got no chance if the Birminghams go that way. Even if it's just one Birmingham, it will cause problems. So it's going to be tough for any other males. There's nobody else, and so the Birminghams are just going to expand their reach. And I don't think that we're going to have a situation where we're actually going to see the Birmingham males very much up here in the north if this is the case, because there's really nothing stopping them. Now, for those of you that don't know the Majingilane Coalition, they were a coalition of 5 males that came into the Sabi Sands, and unfortunately one was killed by the Mapogos in the early hours, or basically in the morning, and then later that evening there was a massive fight between the remaining 4 and the Mapogos males, in which they killed one of the Mapogos, and that was then the start of the Majingilane sort of reign up here in the north. From there they then spread. They went south into Malamala, Londolozi. They were there for a long period, and they used to see them kind of coming in and out from here, and then eventually they went all the way down to the west where they started to dominate. And the particular male that we are talking about was a male that had a kind of nose where he had lost a lot of his fur and a lot of scarring that had taken place on his nose, and he was a very, very pretty male. So I've got a picture of him. Actually, I was looking through photos last night because I heard about this last night, and I was trying to find a picture of him. So that's what he looks like when he was in his prime. He has this very, very interesting nose that was scarred and cut and broken and all kind of sort of damaged, and it made for quite a character. And he was, when it first started and the Majingilans first came in, he was not really the dominant force within the coalition. He would often be behind Darkmane and the one that had a scar on his hip. But as time went on and the 4 of them got a little older, so he actually became the dominant individual and kind of took over from Darkmane and Hipscar and became this kind of leader of the Majingilans in a way. Now, unfortunately, like I say, he did pass away, but it seems as though it was, from old age more than anything else. And like I say, that means the Darkmane one is left. Well, as far as we know, we don't know what happened to Darkmane since we saw him. He hasn't been seen again. Now, Nikki, they can live to, it depends on obviously what sort of competition and those kind of things and certain environmental factors, but generally you're seeing male lions live from anywhere between 12 and sort of 14 years old. Now, these Majingilane males, if we think when they arrived here, they were probably around between 4 and 5, and they were dominant for 8 years. You can think that those guys were probably about 13, maybe even 14, if we push it a little bit. So it's old for male lions. It's a long sort of life that they've led, and they were great for this kind of area. They fathered many, many, many cubs that survived. In fact, some may say that they fathered more cubs than the Mapogos in terms of actually raising to maturity, which is pretty interesting. So it's an amazing kind of sort of story that they've had and how they came in, and that was really kind of where their fame came from, is that they were the males that challenged the Mapogos for the first time and kind of had, I mean, I wouldn't say they were very successful, but they had some semblance of success by being able to catch the Mapogos in a situation where it was just the 2 of them together and there was outnumbered them. They weren't bigger than the Mapogos at that stage, but they were able to slowly but surely apply the pressure. And the thing about the Majingilane males and why they were just always so strong and why they did so well is that they always stuck together, those 4. They never used to find them apart every now and then, but as soon as there was a situation where there was any sort of other lion roaring, the four of them were together and patrolling and pushing others away. So they were an incredible coalition, and it's very sort of sad to see that this is kind of taken place. So Shamsan, the Majingilane had cubs with the sticks, the Nkuhumas, sorry, the guys are just shouting in my ear here on the radio. The Nkuhumas, the Torchwoods, they did mate with. I don't know if they ever produced cubs with them. The Four Ways Pride, the Manganes, the Salalas, the Ottawas, the Shamungwes, who else am I missing? Salala Breakaways, Shamungwes, Ottawas. Who else is there that they made?